Monsignor John Kasza, pastor of St. James Parish in Novi. Today's topic for our self-help series is that of anger. Now, at the outset, I'd like to distinguish between righteous anger and anger in general. Righteous anger is something that we should all have as faithful Christians. It's normal to be angry when you see an injustice being done. For example, a child being abused, someone who is being attacked for their faith, someone who is being maligned because of their race or religion. And we get anger, we find ourselves becoming indignant. That's righteous anger. But then there's anger that comes from the fact that we aren't getting things our own way, or someone cuts us off in traffic, or we become angry because a person is not doing what we think they should be doing. Okay. And what ends up happening is that anger can overtake us, can consume us. First of all, anger is an emotion. But depending on what the outcome of that emotion is determines its positive value or negative value. For most of us, when we become angry or upset or indignant, it is a negative in our lives. What does anger do? It raises our blood pressure. It causes us to become violent. Anger sometimes will cause us to say things and do things that are very hurtful. And although it's good to be angry at a particular instance or incident or problem, too often what happens is we transfer our anger at the injustice to a person. We start blaming a person, and then it becomes what the old term was ad hominem. To the person. We get angry not at the issue, but at the person doing it, which then adds another level or dynamic. So in today's video, I want to just really look at anger that is not righteous, anger that is illicit, anger that is non-productive. The anger that would be like that, we talk about you driving down the street and someone cuts you off. You get angry at them and you swear, you may use a gesture, you may scream. How is that productive for you? How does that help you in your daily life? Other than getting out your frustration, nothing. The person doesn't hear you, the person doesn't see you, and most likely the person doesn't even care. What about someone who's offended you in doing something? Perhaps they've forgotten to invite you to a party. You become angry at that person. Now, it's okay to be angry because anger is emotion, but what do you do with that? Well, the positive thing would be to go over to that person and say, I was very hurt that you did not invite me to your birthday party. Okay. And then they let them respond. But if you get angry and say, I was never invited, no one consulted me, nobody loves me, blah, 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 all it does is raise your blood pressure. The other person doesn't know about it. And frankly, perhaps it wasn't even the person's fault. Maybe the invitation got lost in the mail. But we get so worked up that it hurts us, not the other person. If you find yourself becoming angry at the little things, the minor things, take a step back and say, why am I getting angry? First of all, is it something that I have control over? Yes or no? If yes, then I should be taking positive things to do to change it. If I don't have any control over it, it's out of my hands, so why get upset? If I know that it can be taken care of in a positive way, my job is to go over to the person who can do something about it and have it corrected. For example, you go to a fast food restaurant and the clerk gets your order wrong. You could scream and yell at the clerk and call them all kinds of names. It's a simple mistake. But it could be corrected by saying, oh, by the way, you got my hamburger order wrong. And they'll be happy to fix it. Now, if they don't fix it, then you take it to the manager, and then if the manager doesn't take care of it, then you write to corporate. There's kind of a chain of command. But too often, we allow our emotions to take hold of us and we attack. What ends up happening? It only affects us. We're the ones that get the heart issues. We're the ones that get the high blood pressure. We're the ones that have the stomach issues and the ulcers. The other people could care less. I learned something a long time ago when I was a young priest. The phrase goes like this, and it can be applied in different situations. This is it. Nobody's coming. Nobody cares. This is it. Nobody's coming. Nobody cares. When you find yourself becoming angry, this is it. This is the issue. You can take care of it yourself in a positive way. Because if you don't take care of it in a positive way, it's never going to get resolved. Nobody's going to come to help you. Very few. There may be some, but ultimately you have to take care of an issue that's bothering you by yourself. And finally, nobody cares. Ultimately, if you get angry about something, yes, you may stomp your feet and shake your fist and scream and yell, and it may get taken care of, but in the end, people are just going to say, well, that person was just really angry and we're not going to deal with him or her anymore. Or you get a reputation. So-and-so flies off the handle. And ultimately, people don't care and they start ignoring you. So when you find yourself getting angry, ask yourself, is it righteous anger or is it really illicit anger? If I get angry, can I do something positive in a way that will resolve the issue? Or am I going to let my angry feelings overtake and let my emotions overtake the situation to the point that I can't resolve it? And then if it is capable of being resolved, do it in a way that's Christian, in a way that's loving and kind. You get a lot more flies with honey than you do with vinegar, is the saying. You get a lot more positive response, even if you're angry, keeping yourself controlled, keeping yourself to the issue, not to the person, focusing on ways of positive resolution, go a lot further than screaming and yelling and stamping your feet and trying to make another person bend to your will. Ultimately, when you're angry about something, allow yourself to take some steps back and then begin to address the issue. You'll get a lot more done and a lot more accomplished by doing that. And you'll also preserve your reputation. And people say, oh, so-and-so knows how to take care of an issue without allowing the issue to take care of them.